All right, so War 11 here, looking at bands, we've got S99, Apocalypse, and Ghost. Again, if you want to skip this portion of the video, just check the description and go ahead and click the timestamp for the plan. Boss Island here, we've got Doom, Omega Sentinel, Yellow Jacket, Blade, Synergy. Chavez there is an easy Mr. Negative fight. You can probably also, use Magic or Archangel, just kind of nuke it down. Sasquatch there, you could use Archangel, you could use Scorpion, you could use Kitty. Gallon there can be tough. You can use Kitty Pride there. I probably wouldn't use Blade. Maybe use Archangel and just kind of pray. Wong over there, I would just go with Sunspot and just kind of nuke it down, or Immortal Abomination and just kind of play around it. Manthing there, I actually think Mr. Negative will work, and you'll see that in my video. Some other options are Quake and Omega Red. And then Hulkling there, I would just use Kingpin Synergy Team. And then King Groot there, Tigra, probably Hood. I've heard that G99 actually works ramped, since his special one's pretty easy. Section 2, Path 1, nothing special. Path 2, nothing special. Path 3, Cosmic Ghost Rider and Nebula. And then Nimrod there is an easy Nebula fight. All right, 436 going in. Quicksilver, probably Shang-Chi, maybe Mole Man. Just kind of wait out. I would bait out special ones. Maybe even Nick Fury. Path 1, nothing special. Path 2, nothing special that stands out. Path 3, easy Nimrod all the way through. And then Kitty on the way out. I mean, use any counter to a Kitty Pride there and just avoid parrying if you need to. 7 through 9 going in. I'm sure Ghost Rider can do that Mysterio. You can also use Hulkling now, especially with the unblockable and avoiding stun. Path 1 there, nothing too special. Path 7 there, nothing too special. Path 8, again, nothing too special. And then Path 9, easy Kingpin Synergy Team. And then Warlock or Nimrod or anyone with armor ups for that Havoc there. Just kind of finish the fight quickly. All right, and then as you can see, I got to this a little bit too late. My alliance, I was busy, my alliance already started clearing, but Apocalypse up there, Hulkling, cheese it with Nebula. I mean, that's pretty much top 2 options I would go for. Middle minis, Mordo, you got Archangel, probably Anti-Venom, and Quicksilver if you have one. And then Penny Parker there would go Mr. Negative. I've seen Omega Red work. Section 1, paths 1 through 3, the way out. Fury there's nothing too much, to be honest. He's not going to gain an armor up. So, I mean, you really just have to play strike counter and be aware that there's masochism. Obviously, a White Magneto pre-fight is going to help with a lot of your counters. Actually, I wonder if either Storm works there. Path 1, it's cleared. Path 2, nothing special. Path 3, it's cleared. Path 4 through 6 headed out was a Hit Monkey. Nothing special there. Really just bring a good counter. Path 4 cleared. Path 5, nothing. Again, nothing stands out. Path 6, Archangel, easy peasy. Path 7, you can use Kitty or Omega Red, Cosmic Ghost Rider for that null. Path 8, it's cleared. And then Path 9, Cosmic Ghost Rider probably for the whole thing, or for Void and Scorpion. And then Overseer, you could probably use Kingpin Team. You can probably even use Kingpin Team for Scorpion. It'll just be interesting. Void, I wouldn't, though. Void, I would go with a separate counter. So you can actually take the whole path with Shang-Chi as well. But yeah, that's the end of the defense. Let's go ahead and take a look at offense. All right, so War 11, we have DSVG. As I said before, we've decided to push the rest of the season. I mean, that's this war and the next war. this war, I'll be taking in White Magneto, Shang-Chi, and Mr. Negative. I have Path 9 in Section 1 and Path 5 in Section 2. I have a middle mini-boss and 2 mini-bosses on Boss Island, and a couple shared fights. And you probably saw in the thumbnail that White Magneto was a smaller size than the other two. It's because even though he's rank 3, he only came in for pre-fights. And Shang-Chi and Mr. Negative are going to do all the work here. So Path 9, Section 1, I'm going to take both fights and the shared fight on the way out. All 3 fights are going to be with Shang-Chi. Each one kind of has its own game plan because of the unique abilities of each science champ on this path. So the first one, and the easiest one because you guys have seen it before, we're going to take this Void. It's very strictly just cleanse Wushu, parry heavy, reset. There may be an opportunity or two to throw in the stun while Void is blocking instead of having to do a parry reset. And there may be a couple times where I kind of take my time before I do the reset to let his Void debuff kind of disappear before I heavy to reset. So going smooth here, landing all our parries. This fight can really go south since he'll have the Fury the entire fight just from me gaining the debuff. Getting out this special 2. Go in just to kind of close the distance. Parry heavy. We've got a special 2 ready. I'm going to throw cleanse. And then I'm going to throw special 2. And this is going to do enough damage boosted to knock him out. Rank 3 Void, so tearing right through him pretty quick. Overseer. We had to change the game plan up just a little bit. What I decided to do was the normal game plan, which is cleanse Wushu and parry heavy reset. But after Overseer decides to throw a special attack, we are going to try to get him to back up and block. And we are going to do the unblockable Wushu into his block. And then we're going to wait out the stun. And the reason we're going to do that is it gives us time to let his passive, where he's stun immune and can parry with an auto block, expire and keeps us from getting cornered. So here, trying to get him to be passive. There it is. Unblockable Wushu. And unfortunately, we did a reset before doing that, so we have the cleanse. And now we're going to go ahead and parry heavy. And you are able to retaliate his special one with a heavy. So if I get put in that situation and I don't, there's the unblockable, then we can do it. And even there, while unblockable, I could have done the cleanse. I just chose not to. And then special 2 ends it. Easy peasy. Last one, Scorpion. This one a tad bit trickier. We are going to put a White Magneto pre-fight here. It's because I want to be able to freely put the slow Wushu when I need it. And the only way to get the stun duration to last that long due to Limber is from the White Magneto pre-fight. So when we need it, we're going to play slow. I believe I start the fight off with just doing the cleanse and a heavy reset. And then when I see that he's got the charge, I'm going to decide to throw the slow after doing a parry. And then once I have the slow on, I'm not going to reset the slow and keep trying to build up slows. I'm going to stick strictly to the cleanse. And what I also wanted to do was to switch when he got to a bar of power and do the stun through his block, then do the cleanse, and while I finish the cleanse, do the heavy reset. And all of that is to kind of push him to special 2 so that I don't take any needless debuffs from his special 1 blocking it. You can see there, I kind of didn't set myself up well. He ended up throwing it. It's fine. We just need to be aware of that when it's time to drop special 2. So here's a cleanse. We're free of all debuffs. We still have the slow there. A heavy reset. He throws this special 2. Slow is going to last long enough, so we're going to parry, cleanse, into special 2. And this is just going to clean him off the map. So Shang-Chi really standing out for Path 9 coverage. And then going on to our first Mr. Negative fight, the usual rank 4 Penny Parker on Power Snack. She's here a lot. And I feel like this one, I might have gotten the right rhythm. So, at the start, we are going to be pretty aggressive about attacking into her. We're not going to parry heavy and build an extreme amount of light. We're actually going to build just a small amount of light energy, and as we work off her shield while her back's against her wall, we are going to build some light energy from dexterity, assuming we are able to trigger that dexterity buff. And yes, we use a white magneto pre-fight here, not for the stun duration, because Mr. Negative does not benefit from that, but just for the added 15% attack. So we miss a parry there, no big deal. Aggressively combo there. Got a parry here. I decide to get another because I want to be around 4 when I start being this aggressive, working off the shield. Bait out the special 1. Still haven't triggered a dexterity buff. Now she's in an auto block range, so now we're going to make sure she's definitely blocking before we go in to remove that shield. Still not triggering any buffs, so I decide to parry there to build up some light so that we are ready to get close to 8 or 9 dark energy when this shield comes down. So this puts us at 8. We don't trigger dex there. I'm going to stay off, charge the heavy, bank it, good. Now we're going to aggressively fight her and push her to her corner. But I'm not going to give her too much power. I'm going to keep her shy of that 1 bar of power while she's at 10 charges. And as you guys have seen before, that was my mistake with this fight kind of failing. I gave her too many special 1s before it came time for me to throw my special 2, and I ended up with that power burn. So we did it right here. We need to keep her below a bar of power before her shield comes down, and we're going to do that by only giving her some blocked hits, so we have a full bar of energy to kind of wait out both her senses, her spider sense charges, and also work that shield off. At the same time, building light energy from whatever dexterity buff we trigger. So here I'm in a perfect spot. Evade counter into special 2. It's down. No power drain. We got the special 2 with a large amount of debuff or dark energy on us, and she's just melting away, and now I'm abusing her with parry heavy as she just ticks away. So I finally figured out, got it worked out, felt very good. I was super excited about that fight. Now, Footloose Quicksilver. I have a game plan for this. I knew it could get sketchy with this first slow debuff getting placed because I cannot parry and place it. I'd have to parry twice and place it since he can evade out of a stun. And that should put his evade on cooldown. So I decided to block beta heavy, and he ends up doing enough hits. It gets very close to special 3, and I actually have to push him to special 3 to get the slow on. Not the end of the world. I knew I had an invulnerability boost on. So this is just going to eat one of those. At least we have a Quicksilver that's not supposed to evade because he's got slow on him. What doesn't happen, though, is his evade never goes on cooldown. And I think it has something to do with this evade charge. I don't know, because now it's not there, and he's still evading. But his mechanic with an intercept and a stun, he's evading, which is a little unfortunate. I was not ready for that special 1, so there goes the invulnerability boost, which is unfortunate because I can't get this slow placed without baiting out a heavy, and that's going to require some blocked hits or just hitting into his block and hoping he throws a heavy out of it. So there I got lucky. His evade is actually on cooldown. He's not evading now. But I'm pretty sure that if he's got the slow on, he shouldn't be evading at all. Fortunately, because I got cornered and pushed through the wall, I had to push him to special 3, which is fine. I figured I was going to survive 1, and I do. So we're still in it. However, we have to wait out these buffs, and we have to avoid a lot of blocked hits from here. And now I need to try and work on a slow so that if he does use a special attack, we're not screwed. Luckily, he throws a heavy right there off of 1 blocked attack. We dodge that special 1, fine. I did practice that. And we finish it there. So he should be an ideal counter. But now I think I need to report a bug. And I'm probably going to use this video for it. Moved on. Path 5, Black Cat, Shang-Chi's last fight. Figured I have a Shang-Chi. I'm going this way. He can work against her. His only real benefit against her is the fact that I can use the Cleanse Wushu when she does get a Sabotage debuff on me. However, this fight does not last anywhere near long enough to get that Sabotage debuff on me. So My plan was to slow to get rid of her evade mechanic when she's trying to intercept you and it fails, since she is duped. And it was just to parry heavy reset off of that. I start throwing more wushu, like the stun one, because it's not as important due to the ebb and flow intercept that I keep slow on. And now I'm ready for a special 2 here. I'm trying to get an intercept. She didn't come. Try to get one here. She backed up. Try to get one here. We land it into cleanse in case that sabotage was on us, even though that's defensive ability accuracy. Due to the fury, the SB2 just overpowers her and makes the fight a joke. So his war is done. On to Mr. Negative taking this Mojo. I've always known Mr. Negative kind of works for this node. I just, with Mystic Dispersion and all the other globals, it's been kind of risky. But since none of Mr. Negative's counters are actually benefiting from this global, makes him a good counter for this node. So the way this works, first off, against Mojo, I prefer ending combos with light attacks. So we are always going to end all of our combos, except for that one, with a light attack. And what it does is it allows Mr. Negative to recover better and get out of range, especially if Mojo has a special 1 ready and we don't get clipped on the way out. Past Mojo bosses, I've gotten clipped there. But we want to build light energy to 8 or 9, convert it to dark with an evade counter, build the next set, and hopefully when we're at special 3, that second set of light energy that we need to evade counter with to bank, we're ready to throw that special 3. And we need to use the evade counter on Mojo's dash. So I can't block bait into the evade counter. It needs to be his dash so that we can remove ebb and flow intercept and get the big fury from the node. And that will cause the dark damage from the special 3 to be monstrous. So getting a bit cornered here. I'm going to start hitting into his block if he decides to back the heck off. Knew I had to get that special 2 out. Knew that there was a chance he was going to throw it off of that full combo, and he did here. Set up myself for the evade counter to get rid of ebb and flow intercept. Knew we would survive an SB2 with only 3 charges on Mojo, or 3 followers. And you're just going to see him tick away out of the special 3. 1, 2, 3. All done. So, super cheesy fight. We move on, heal up Mr. Negative. He's got 2 more fights. Manthing here. I figured with the way this node works, as in landing a heavy or landing a special attack, would remove the timer of me getting faltered. Since those 2 things are pretty much the only thing I'm doing with Mr. Negative, I figured it would be pretty easy to counter Manthing here. So I decided to parry without attacking to build a little more light before I start hitting him, so that before this bar of power comes, I can bank this dark energy. And now I know he's going to gain a buff from me crossing a bar of power, and also from him throwing a special attack. So I'm keeping an eye on that buff, because that's the one that's going to expire to trigger the falter. And luckily it's the first hit of the heavy that removes that timer. It's also the first hit of a special attack. So I expected to evade counter there, and I did, but I didn't actually do the animation, so it kind of threw me off. It was fine. We have the dark energy we needed. A buff was expiring and we were about to get faltered, and the first hit of special 2 removed that timer. So we can just abuse Manthing here while he melts away from dark energy, or dark degen. And then he's got a little bit left. It didn't quite KO him. It is a rank 4 Manthing. He's a little bit tankier, and he's actually just going to get knocked out by heavy attacks. So, Mr. Negative, pretty good counter for some of his counters there. Could see Sasquatch getting a little bit trickier. And then Mr. Negative versus Chavez. Now, her being here can be problematic, but when you realize that the power gain is only enhancing the passive power gain, not combat, then you realize as long as you don't trigger a buff and feed MD, and as long as she doesn't throw a heavy, which she loves to do, and opens a dimension, she's not going to gain power on her special 1. So I parried without attacking at the end of that so that I didn't push her past the bar of power, because I didn't want to block bait evade counter that usually leads to a heavy attack. So we get our first set of dark energy and her SB1 out without her throwing a heavy, which is good. We're going to do the exact same thing, and I'm going to parry here without attacking. I'm going to back up, evade counter, throw the special 2. And this is just going to cause her to melt away. Bait out the special 1, no big deal. Go attack her after she dies down just a little bit more. Bait out the special 1, and she dots away. But that was the end of my war. Really fun war. 2 of my main attackers. I loved it. Our battle group actually ended up dying 4 times this war, which was not at all the best. But we ended up winning this 7-11. So they actually ended up losing it worse than we did. 7 is an improvement from last war, but not what we usually need for top 3. But we have one more war left. I'd like to see that number down. I believe if we win, we actually finish top 10. So this odd season is going to end with us finishing top 10 if we win out, which is actually pretty good to hear for how low stress it was. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe, hit a like. I will catch you guys at the next war.